What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And first off, I want to apologize, I guess, for like the jarring set change. I'm not in my usual position or set, I would say. It's currently 110 where I live and I record in my garage. There's no AC in there and I'm talking too much already. Let's get into the video. All right, so if you came here today, you probably saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. We're talking about this guy right here. This is the Sigma BF by Sigma, and yeah, it is freaking amazing. Like, so good. This camera is one of those cameras that has kind of got me almost excited to just shoot, to just pick this camera up and go. There was a lot of slack on this camera when it first came out. Sigma did send this camera to me so I could use it as a loaner for a trip that I went on. They have no input in this video at all. They did not pay me for this. This is just on my own accord. But with all that out the way, let's talk about this camera. So the Sigma BF is designed for simplicity and portability with a focus on image quality and video capabilities. It offers a unique user experience with its minimalist design and lack of traditional controls. This was honestly something that I really liked. There's really only two, maybe 4 buttons on this camera other than the shutter button. Everything for the most part is controlled within this dial wheel, and once you kind of figure it out and you figure out what you're going to be changing, this camera is just fun to use. And I don't know what kind of magic sorcery they put in their color science in this camera. It is by far one of the best colors I've seen come out straight out of a camera. And while I'm talking, I'm just gonna overlay some of the photos that I took on my trip to Utah. So if you're watching this video, it's gonna be kind of all over the place. It's a little bit of a vlog, a little bit of a talking head, and a little bit of me just showing off some photos. So I got this camera. I took it out to the desert when I first got it. I've only had it for about 2 weeks. So I'm gonna be doing some testing right now with the Sigma BF. Wanted to grab some sunset pictures out here in the desert. So we're about 30 minutes from my house. This little art installation out here. Shout out to Nathan. That is called the Art in Residence, and it's actually really gorgeous. They have a couple different art installations that change every year. We have this beautiful sunset right now. I'm gonna snap a couple pictures. I just got this thing literally today, just opened it, figured it out like really quickly. It's a very intuitive camera once you figure out how to kind of like set your buttons or just use it as like a point and shoot for the most part, and then just with the dial, because there's only one dial, which I'll show in a video when I get back to the studio. Then I took it to Utah. This was a family trip. It wasn't anything crazy, so I didn't want to bring like my full heavy Sony setup. I wanted something that was just small. Sigma sent me 3 lenses. They sent me their 50mm lens, they sent me their 35, and they sent me a 17. I only brought the 50 and the 35, but I used the 35 the entire trip. I don't think I changed lenses once, though I do wish, there was a couple times I wish I had the 17. The 17's an f4, and I don't know. I'm a, f2, 2.8, 1.8, 1.2 kind of guy, but for landscape and stuff like that, an f4 would have came in handy. So the way that I use this camera for the most part is full auto aperture priority. I think that is the best way you can use this camera. Treat it like a very high-end point and shoot, and just go out there and focus on composition, focus on your subject, and you can probably walk away with some incredible images from this camera. All right, we made it to Utah. We're here in Zion, and I'm gonna be going around doing a little bit of hiking. This is a family vacation, but we're testing out the Sigma BF camera, which I'm super stoked. I already got a couple photos already. I'll show them right here. This was basically just right from the entrance, stopping to get coffee before we go into the park. But look at this view, like this is incredible. I get it, and it's not too bad. It's not too hot right now. It's about 86 degrees, and I think it's only gonna be about 90 for most of the days, but it doesn't feel too bad. But yeah, let's get this trip going. Let's test out the BF. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of the BTS with the Meta glasses, so you'll see it in a vertical format, but it is what it is. So let's go. While this camera lacks some of the features found on other cameras, it provides high quality shooting experience for both stills and video. To be fully transparent, I didn't test any of the video features. It just wasn't something that really stood out to me. Plus it didn't have ND filters, and I wanted this camera just to take pictures, so it just made sense not to take any video. I did open it up, I did shoot a little bit, I didn't save anything, and it wasn't anything that I'm gonna put on here, so we won't be talking about that. We're just gonna be talking about it solely as a camera for photos. Okay, so my first impressions with the Sigma BF camera is I absolutely love it. I think it's an incredible camera for just kind of everyday use. If you use it as like a point and shoot camera, the colors out of this camera is amazing. I really love the rich film simulation. I love the teal and orange, and I may have just actually purchased this camera because it just fell off my Peak Design strap and dented the lens hood and kind of scuffed up the camera a bit. Let's see if you could see it. So, I mean, the whole thing's aluminum, and unfortunately, you don't want to drop it. Now, while we're here, let's just jump into some of the cons and be a little cautious on this. Is there are a lot of caveats with this camera. Sigma calls this the Sigma BF because I think the BF stands for beautifully foolish, and I would say that it's honestly beautifully fantastic. It's just such a fantastic camera to go around and shoot photos with. A great everyday camera. What I would love to see Sigma come out with is if they can come up with a pancake size 35mm 2.8, that's maybe half of this. This will dominate the everyday carry camera. I highly think so. So yeah, but yeah, going into some of the cons, obviously if you're looking at this camera right now, you notice something right away. There's no hot shoe, there's no cold shoe, there is barely a grip. There's a little thumb grip that I scuffed up a little bit when I dropped it in Zion. But one of the major flaws, which could have been a huge selling point for this camera, and I think would have really made this camera like the GOAT of everyday carry cameras, is there's no tilt screen. There's no flip screen, there's no tilt screen, it's just a screen. So I love to shoot low angle shots. I love to shoot waist level shots. My Sony a7R V has that tilt screen, and for the longest time I thought I would never love it as much as I do, but just having a flat tilt screen to get those waist level shots makes such a huge difference when you're doing low angle shots or anything like that. Another thing this camera doesn't have, it doesn't have any kind of Bluetooth control, so there's no app for it. You can't send photos from the camera to your phone. As far as I know, I saw no Bluetooth in this camera when I dived into the menus. I could be wrong, and if I am, go ahead, feel free to correct me. I didn't try to do a USB-C to USB-C transfer on my phone. Maybe that's a thing that you could do, and maybe there's a video out there. I didn't try it as far as, you know, me filming this video right now, and I don't really feel like fiddling with any cords and trying it on camera, but yeah, so the only way that you can get the photos off of this camera is to plug it into your computer and pull it off. And let's talk about storage. When I first got this camera, I knew barely anything about it. I didn't watch a lot of YouTube videos on it. There wasn't a lot of hype on this camera when it first came out as far as, like, you know, YouTube videos out there. And I had no idea that this is all internal storage. There's no SD card slot, so I was popping the battery out looking for an SD card door left and right, and I had to do a quick little Google search to realize there is no SD card slot. This is all internal storage. I think you get roughly about 3,000 photos. That's shooting JPEG and RAW. The RAWs are DNG files, so they're not really like a true RAW, but you can still play around with them, edit them, all that stuff. So throughout this video, I'm going to be posting some photos that are either straight out of camera or edited with my Imagine profile. So if you see it, I'll put something there that will show that's either straight out of camera or if it's not. So let's go to Utah real quick, and I'll just tell you a little bit about the camera and why I'm using it. All right, welcome back to Utah. Had to show you guys this. This is the last day here in Utah, and we are at the Snow Canyon Park. And this is incredible. This was 20 minutes from our Airbnb. So the next photos that I post will be from this trip. We're gonna be here doing a little hike right now, but this whole thing, like, look at this. This whole thing is just incredible. So I'm gonna take a couple snapshots and show you guys. Still shooting on the 35 f2 on the Sigma BF as well. Have it in aperture priority mode, all the settings. And I think today I'm going to shoot in mostly that teal and orange preset. Snow Canyon, if you're in St. George, hands down, check it out. It is absolutely freaking incredible. Zion was amazing, but also Zion has a ton of tourists. We literally have seen one group of people since we've been out here at Snow Canyon. Way chiller. So if you're in St. George, maybe you're going to Zion, come and check out this place, because it's freaking, like, I don't even have words. It's just how dope it is. So back to the studio. All right, so back here in the studio, or AKA my kitchen dining table area, because my studio is 110 degrees. The camera supports an L mount, so if you have L mount glass, like a glass, you could put that on it. I said earlier that I had the 50, the 35, and the 17. I've only really used the 50 and the 35. Some of the shots that you'll see right now were taken with the 50mm lens. This is out on a trip down in Venice Beach. I met up with Velvet Alfredo, took a couple pictures of him real quick. Then I did some street photography stuff, you know, where you go around and ask strangers for pictures. Snapped a couple of a guy doing some dance moves on the beach. And yeah, I mean, the overall user experience for this camera has been great. All right, guys, so we just got back from Utah, and I felt like I needed a little more content and a little more photos with this camera. So the BF honestly has become my best friend, which didn't mean for it to sound like that or anything, but no, the BF has honestly been such an amazing camera. I really love it. It's such a quirky little camera, and for a little everyday shoot, kind of like high-end point and shoot, like this thing really crushes it. Though I wanted to take it out, do some street photography, and just get a couple more photos with it. Everything that I shot in Utah was great, but it was just kind of you know, just snapshots really. So we're down here in Venice right now. Gonna do a little bit of street photography, a little bit of like maybe catch some sunsets, go over to the skate park, get some shots of that too. So yeah, enjoy, and we'll go back to the studio. We'll talk a little bit more about this camera, who's it for, all that kind of stuff as well. So okay, so who is this camera for? Well, it is $2,000. So, and that's $2,000 with no lens. And it's an expensive everyday camera. But if you're somebody who wants something that's super minimal, super easy to use, very intuitive, and that has straight up fire images that are straight out of camera, I highly recommend this Sigma BF. This thing has become my best friend, no pun intended. I honestly think I want to pick one up after I send this back. Actually, today, right now, I have to go mail this and send it back. So yes, I waited till the very last second to record this video. But if you like this kind of content, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave a comment below, and let me know your thoughts on the Sigma BF. If you want to see some more content with this, maybe I can get Sigma to send it back and we can talk a little bit more about it. But from a user perspective, the autofocus is great, the colors are great. It's just a fun camera. It's quirky. Sigma, if you do come out with a Sigma BF Mark II, give us a tilt screen. It doesn't need to be a flip screen. I'm honestly over the flip screen. I want just a tilt screen, maybe one that tilts up, maybe one that tilts up like this. That would be amazing. I think that would just crush it on this camera. Oh, and maybe a hot shoe for flash. That's it. So two things. Keep everything else the same, and I'll love you forever. See you in the next video, guys. Peace. Thanks for watching.